Playing all the hottest music, yeah. Keep it locked, keep it locked. The Bougie Show, keep it locked. It's the Bougie Show, keep it locked. We live, tell us what you wanna hear. When we turn up, you gon' turn up. Turn around and tell a friend. It's the Bougie Show, the Bougie Show. Tell them it's the Bougie Show, the Bougie Show. Yeah, 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 yeah. Turn up. All around the world, you gon' hear us. Turn up. Everywhere we go, you gon' hear us. It's the Bougie Show when you hear us. Cause it's the Bougie Show, the Bougie Show. Turn up, turn up. Turn up. It's the Bougie Show when you hear us. Turn up, turn up. Turn up. It's the Bougie Show when you hear us.
It's the Bougie Show on Skyhawk Radio.
Welcome to the Bougie Show. I am Say the DJ, and we got Dan Ferrari in the building tonight. Also, adult performer Indiana Bones is rebranding himself professionally as Dan Ferrari. Can you elaborate, please, Dan?
Yeah, I started performing about 3 years ago, and I was under the name Indiana Bones at that time, and I just wanted a name that would be taken more seriously. Indiana Bones served me well. I did well, and I enjoyed the name, but I just decided I wanted something that seemed a little more serious and showed that I take my job seriously. I really do enjoy what I do, and I want to continue doing this for a long time.
So Indiana Bones, and I respect what you're saying. Indiana Bones, that's still a catchy name when you think about porn. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure it did what it had to do for you. And okay, so did you, with you having that name, did you just think that when you would say, "Hey, I'm Indiana Bones," it was kind of, it becomes not serious no more? You know what I mean? Like they just looking at you as like, okay, it's a gimmick or something like that. Yeah,
a little bit. It's a little corny.
Okay,
it's a little corny, obviously. I actually I decided to use a name that was near and dear to me. My real name is Dan Ferrari.
Right. No, Dan Ferrari is more smooth. Hands down.
That's like legit my name. I'll show you my driver's license.
No, I believe you. I did my due diligence. I know. You entered in 2018, and
yes,
you came out the gate swinging. You got multiple award nominations, including AVN Best Male Newcomer, XBiz Best Male Clip Artist, XBiz Rising Clip Artist, and BBW Awards Male Performer of the Year 2 years in a row. What is the biggest attributor in your performance resulting in these nominations?
Well, actually, I've been working behind the scenes for about 10 years now. So I feel like, it was kind of like, I always liken it to driving a car. You kind of have an idea of how to drive a car because you've seen it done so many times. When
you were a production assistant.
Exactly. Okay. I'd worked behind the scenes for big directors for many years. So I was able to kind of pick up all the little tidbits and kind of tricks of the trade, So when I started performing, I think I had a little more of an idea of how to put myself in the right positions,
So you were married prior to being an adult performer.
Oh yeah, a very long time.
Now, how did you pull this off with your wife? You know what I mean?
Like how did I convince her?
How did you, okay, so you started out as a production assistant. Okay, so naturally you can see the transition happening. I'm sure that was popping up in the back of her head. But for you to have the confidence and the balls, literally, to come to your wife and say, hey, you know what? I think I want to take my career in another route, another lane. So how did that come about with you not making her feel offended and, and her taking what you're saying seriously?
Right. Well, we've been married for, it'll actually be 19 years next week.
Well, congratulations. We'll drop her.
Thank you. And so we've had a lot of trust, obviously, and she works in the industry as well. She's been working behind the scenes for 6 or 7 years now as well. So
you brought her in.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, I brought her in as a production manager on a set I was working on. So I brought her in, and I just, when I made the decision I wanted to start performing, I didn't want to push her at all. So I just kind of, put it out there. I was like, hey, I've been thinking I want to get something going for us. And, the best way to do that is for someone to start performing or take some sort of initiative. And I just kind of left it at that. And then the following week, she told me, hey, go get tested. You have a shoot next week.
So now you brought her into the game and she's there with you. Has she ever been where she's seen you perform?
Oh yeah, she films a lot of she films most of my content.
It is time to stop the fuckery.
And I thought I heard it all from all adult entertainers. But okay, so now, and you guys drive home in the same vehicle?
Well, we usually shoot at our place. So, I mean, when we're finished, I clean up. Oh,
because you're doing your own production.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got our own production running now as well. Well, her production.
Okay, well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the wife running things. That's how it's supposed to go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how long did it take for her to get comfortable where she's, okay, where now you're bringing it to your home shooting there? Were you shooting on other people's production set first?
Yeah, at first, she was there actually for my first scene. She was shooting behind the scenes.
Did you feel comfortable?
Yeah, totally comfortable, actually. Yeah, it was actually with a good friend of ours, Lacey Sweet. Was my first scene. It was a little content shoot that we did. And Lacey's husband shot the scene, and my wife was shooting the behind the scenes, and it was totally natural. Again, having been around it for so long, she had been around it for so long too, that it was kind of just, it didn't feel awkward to us. It kind of just made sense.
Does your wife critique you?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
Which is great.
Tell me some of the things she ever told you that, because it's one thing when she's being intimate with you because you're her significant other, but it's another thing when, she's just strictly observing you in front of the camera and you're performing. What's the worst thing she's ever told you?
Oh, man, I don't want to put myself in a bad situation here. But
no, I'm saying what you said. All right, I'm going to step up my game. I'm going to show her. Has there ever been that situation?
Absolutely. Like any director, any director giving tips to a performer. Okay. But the good thing is because we're married and because she wants me to succeed and she wants to succeed, if I do a scene and there's something that I was maybe doing, like maybe my hand was in the wrong spot or position,
so
or something like that.
She's critiquing.
So after the scene, she'd be like, "Hey, you need to move your freaking hand." In that position, I couldn't, and I'm like, "All right, yeah, of course, got you." So it's actually brought my game up because she'll critique me harder than anyone else will.
Yeah, and then the fact that she understands what you're doing, how you're performing, I think that's dope. So now you're shooting at the house.
Yeah.
So is this just people that you know, or how does this work?
It's both. We have girls that I've never worked with and girls that I've worked with, the girls that we've known for years and years and years. So it's really just just however it works out. So,
and are you providing agency work also, or is it just strictly production? Like, okay, we're just finding these random talents and we're just, we want to work and we just go like that? Or is it more we got agency, we got X amount of people on call and we bring them in to shoot a scene?
We would do both, like we reach out to people, we do content trades, and we're still trying to build a brand. It's very new. Our site just launched. Well, her site just launched on September 16th. It just launched.
You can say what's the name of the site?
Slutinspection.com.
Slutinspection.com. Okay.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you. So I know she understands your work and your profession and things of that nature, but you have a monogamous relationship.
We do. Yeah. Right. Totally monogamous.
So let me ask you. Now you have a monogamous relationship. Is that what keeps your marriage this strong to this day? Have you ever brought your wife with somebody off the camera?
Right.
Just, have you guys, done a swinger type of thing?
I mean, not really.
No, I mean,
over the years, obviously, we've talked about things, but it's never really been our thing to do
I'm listening.
Like that.
Yeah. Not once has she said, let's do something on the wild side, and no.
She really she doesn't really have any inclination to be sexualized in that
Right.
So yeah, I do my thing on camera, and then beyond that, we don't do anything outside of that.
During the pandemic, I've noticed that you've been focused on your physique.
Yes.
And is it because you had the downtime and to work, just say, all right, I'm just going to improve my body and how I look on camera, how I feel?
Yeah, I realized that over the past 10 years, I've been working so hard trying to build everything up and get everything going that I didn't have that much time to work on myself. So once the pandemic kind of hit, obviously it's an awful situation, but it gave me a large chunk of time to really focus on myself and focus on my body and focus on getting myself together. So I was able to really put in the work during that time, and it was exhausting. Completely exhausting.
So you were just saying, all right, I'm just going to reevaluate everything, and just 2021, I'm going to come out swinging. Was that it?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, we didn't know. Obviously, no one knows how long it's going to last. So I just decided it was time to make a change. And I'd always worked out, but I knew I could bring it to another level. So I was doing 3 a days, 4 a days, 5 a days, every single day for all of lockdown. It was intense.
Sludinspection.com, right? So is that the only work that you're doing now, or are you still working with other production?
Oh, I still work with other productions. Okay. I'm with 101 Modeling.
Okay,
so
yes,
people can book me through 101 Modeling, and then I still do content for other people, and I'm still out there, you know, and then I still work behind the scenes as well. I'm just trying to keep every avenue open.
So naturally, the transition for you is to eventually be behind the camera as far as shooting. Do you have a director's eye, or are you still intrigued with shooting in front of the camera opposed to behind it?
You know, I love being in front of the camera. You know, I have fun behind the camera as well. You know, I used to shoot sex stills for a few companies. I used to work lighting and things like that, and it's a lot of fun. But I really enjoy more the performing aspect. That's really my wheelhouse.
Dan Ferrari's do's and don'ts on a production set.
Do's and don'ts as a performer?
Yes.
Don't penetrate my butt. That's about it.
Okay. All right. So,
like seriously,
all right. No, I feel you. All right. So, what advice does Dan have for somebody young coming up in the game? Young male talent.
Yeah. No. You know, it takes time. You know, put in the work. And just don't get discouraged. You know, as you progress, you'll learn more and more, and you know, you really just got to grind it out and let people see that you can do it and everything like that. It's not easy. It's very difficult to be male talent. So
yeah, you know. and you said don't be discouraged, meaning you're not getting booked continuously.
Exactly. Yeah, because you know, like companies are going to shoot people that they know that are. You know, good performers, and as male talent, you know, that's understandable. You know, right. You need someone that you know is going to be solid. A lot hinges on, you know, getting it up.
Right. So, I just interviewed a guy earlier today, and he stated to me that I asked him about performance enhancing, you know, for us keeping an erection,
right?
He was mentioning Viagra, and I was like, okay, well, there's a talent that got an injection in his penis to keep an erection, and then it wouldn't go away after production was finished. He had it for X amount of hours after.
Right.
Do you use anything to keep yourself? Because I always said, when I first time I seen a behind the scenes adult film, and I seen the dude, he had to have an erection, and the girl is there like, all right, hold that shot. And I'm like, okay, well, I couldn't do that as a regular human being with somebody taking a camera saying, keep your erection, hold that shot. Okay, I'm not.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
There's no friction. There's
right.
No,
so what is a numbing cream? What does the average adult male entertainer do, and what does Dan Ferrari use to keep it going?
I mean, I just try to focus on the girl. For me, like I prefer not to use anything.
No cream, no nothing.
No creams, no nothing like that. Especially like the injection. You know, to each their own though. You know, I have complete respect for everyone in the industry. You know. Everyone can do whatever they need to do, and you know, getting the shoot is the important thing, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, for me, it's just kind of zoning out and focusing on the girl, you know, and just finding something to latch onto, you know.
So if you're not necessarily attracted to your coworker,
right,
your partner, you have to find something on her body, or do you try to engage in conversation and say, okay, maybe her personality will now just turn me on based off on how she thinks?
Well, yeah, it could be anything. You know, it could be like if I'm not necessarily turned on by them, maybe they have nice eyes, or you know. Like,
okay, so you find something.
I try to find something, or if they have a great personality, you know, right. that's another turn on. And then if there's absolutely nothing that I can find, you know, you go the other route where you say, okay, you know, I'm just gonna fuck the shit out of them. You know, it's
right.
I don't want to say hate fuck, but you know, almost like
it's just let me perform well. Then,
yeah, exactly. It's a performance at the end of the day, you know, and you have to perform. So you just do whatever you have to do mentally. You do your mental gymnastics, or you just go to a happy place in your mind, and you know.
The varieties in vagina. Let's talk about that. So I want to know, like, okay, because I find some vaginas attractive, some I don't. Some vaginas feel different than others, right? So majority of the time when you're performing, is it with condoms or without condoms?
Typically without condoms. When I do the live shows for a company called Cherry Pimps, that like those sorts of things are with condoms. So I do both.
But you prefer no condom?
Sure.
Because it makes it easier for you to finish.
There's more sensation.
Right.
You got more going on, so, but yeah, no, I prefer the without condoms, no, and let's be real. Who wants to see porn with a condom?
Yeah. I had a conversation with a guy prior to this interview, and I was asking him about that, where some of the talents that I would see some people work with, because I would read the comments with this particular scene, and the guys was like, "Oh, why is she giving oral sex without a condom, but then having sex with a condom?" What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's as I understand it, it's penetrative sex. So penetrative sex has to be with a condom. So if there's any basically penis and vagina,
right,
it's got to be with a condom in that situation. If it's a live show or if there's any specific regulations for that particular shoot, but the oral is. I'm not exactly sure of the reasons, but the oral doesn't actually fit into that same realm.
I got away from the vagina. Okay, I got you. I got away from the vagina though. Is there when you're sleeping, when you're performing with the female talent?
Sure.
Are there times when you're just like, ugh, it's not the same? I mean, if you don't, I don't want you. I'm not asking you to throw no names and throw nobody under the bus. I just want strictly a guy's perspective on, like, because we want to know as men that are not in the industry and just want to know, like, man, if I just seen her perform with this guy and then this guy's with this guy, and I just got to wonder if it's like, damn, just wondering as regular human beings, is there a difference in the...
Is there a difference in the sensation
and
of the
grip?
Vagina? The grip. All right. How do I say anything to that? I mean, everything feels different.
Okay, all right.
Everything feels different. Obviously from person to person, everybody's body is different. So it's always going to feel different.
But is the body different? The body is the body, but the vagina is totally different. If you got X amount of miles on you, or if you just,
I don't think that necessarily makes a difference. To be honest with you, like if a woman is like allowing me to do a scene with her, I'm just happy to be there. I'm excited to be there, and it's gonna feel great for me no matter what.
Okay. What's when you're performing with these girls and things like that, do you always engage in the conversation to the point where it's like, okay, you want to know who they are, or is it just to loosen up the vibe in the room before you actually perform, or do you really care to like find out who they are and how they think?
Yeah. Again, having worked in the business for so long, I've built a rapport with a lot of the girls, so I know a lot of the girls. I enjoy chatting with them before the scenes, but that also has to do with call times and how the scenes are set up. Maybe I get to set and they're doing dialogue or something like that, so I don't even have time to really interact with them prior to the scene. But yeah, I enjoy kind of talking and kind of getting to know them a little bit. It creates it makes it less clinical.
Got it.
A little less clinical in that situation.
You said you were doing a little music or something like that. I heard you saying prior before we got on the mic.
Yeah. When I moved to LA, I was actually on tour with the band at the time. Nothing big, but I had been a musician for years and years, since I played guitar, drums, everything since I was a kid.
So you're not doing that now, though?
Porn has pretty much completely consumed my life at this point. Porn. I have the guitar on my wall that I keep looking at, and I'm like, one day I'm going to grab you and start playing again. But I just don't have the time. Between working behind the scenes, having the production with my wife, and then all the other shoots that I have, through my agency and through all the companies that I work with, I don't have much time in my day.
2021, we can expect what from Dan Ferrari?
Well, Slut Inspection is doing really well, so I'm hoping that really starts to take off. I would love to start shooting for some more major companies. I recently shot a couple of scenes for companies on the Adult Time Network. So I would like to shoot a lot more for them. I just want to start stepping up my game and on every level. I want to start shooting for all the companies, and I just want to get my site out there and kind of get my own production going and have that be like my lead focus, along with shooting with the major companies, and maybe do a little less behind the scenes work.
If Dan could have dinner with one individual, dead or alive, and have a constructive conversation, who would that be with and why?
Man, put me on the spot with that one. Dead or alive, huh?
Yep.
Man, I don't even know, to be honest with you. Maybe like...
even the entertainers, it could be a political figure. It could be,
I mean, I could go generic. I think I'd have to go with someone like Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain.
One of the famous musicians.
You seen the documentary with him on HBO back in the day?
I think so. Yeah,
it was dope.
Yeah.
No,
a very troubled individual, but a genius.
That's usually how genius. It works. The more great they are, the more crazy they are. Yeah. But I mean, just the word coming. But I'm very familiar with Kurt Cobain. But that's cool, man. You chop it up with Kurt. Yeah, Dan Ferrari joining us on the Bougie Show. You want to let them know about your social media platforms?
Absolutely. I'm on Twitter. What even is it? The Dan Ferrari, and I'm on Insta, which is the Dan Ferrari. Okay. So yeah, the Dan Ferrari everywhere.
So it's the Dan Ferrari.
The Dan Ferrari.
Okay.
That's
all
right.
You got a logo made for the Dan Ferrari? You should.
I think my wife fixed something up. Yeah, she's got something there. So.
Have you and your wife done an interview together yet? Or she stays behind the scenes. She doesn't want to be seen.
I think we've done one or two, two interviews, but I'm always down to do more. Especially since I'm so proud of her with the whole site and everything like that. And I would love to do some interviews where she gets some airtime,
some recognition.
Yeah, she deserves it. She worked hard on that thing, and she deserves some recognition for all the work she's done.
Yeah. All right, Dan Ferrari joining us on the Bougie Show. I appreciate you coming through, bro. I know we've been in communication for a while.
Yeah.
So, most definitely, sludinspection.com.
Yes, sludinspection.com.
And how often do you guys drop content on there?
We're dropping content weekly, constantly. It's always updating. Keep an eye on the we have the Twitter at sludinspection. So keep an eye on that. We're always announcing all the updates. We just shot an amazing scene with Brooklyn Gray, and that's going to be coming out at some point in the near future.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we have an amazing scenes that we've shot with Blake Blossom, Bella Rowland, Kenzie Reeves. So keep an eye out because it's amazing content. I don't think there's really much out there like it. I think we've kind of hit a niche that hasn't really existed or hasn't really been brought to light in the industry. So it's really, really good stuff.
Dan Ferrari on the Bougie Show. I appreciate you coming through, sir, and have a great one.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty. Okay.
It's the Bougie Show on Skyhawk Radio.